Hey guys, welcome back to Nicole's View. So, I'm sure you guys are going to see this title and be like, uh-oh. Yeah, you're right, uh-oh. Because some may say this may be too little too late, but in my opinion, it's never late. It's never late to expose folks for their hypocrisy. It's never late to expose the truth. So, no, it's not too late. I feel this video is just in time because you see, we have a lot of hypocritical folks out here. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. So, most of you know I've been a huge Michael Jackson fan since the age of 7 years old. I've followed this man's career, from when I was a child up until, his death. Okay. And one thing that has truly disturbed me about what Mr. Cosby is going through and what happened to Michael Jackson, I see some Michael Jackson fans, I'm not going to say all, because there have been some who they followed me and they've said, this sounds like some Gavin Arvizo setup bullshit. I've had fans come to me and say that, but they're scared to say it because we are living in a time right now where folks are extremely brainwashed. Forget mainstream media. Now you have social media who also helped lead the charge against Bill Cosby. So we're working against two entities right now that's so toxic, that's so evil, that is hell-bent on not letting the truth come out. You will have folks like me and others out there who are trying to push back against it, but it can be very tiring. It can be very frustrating. It can be very disheartening, especially when you have folks in your own friends list. Okay, I'm sitting up here telling folks what went down in that courtroom against Mr. Bill Cosby, and I have so-called Michael Jackson fans who even came at me on the day of the verdict and said that he was a sick man. He admitted it. I mean, talking like the same people who demonized and called Michael Jackson a pedophile for over 20 plus years. Yes, I'm talking to you guys. You guys should be so ashamed of yourselves. You sound exactly like the same people. You sound exactly like Diane Diamond. You sound exactly like Gloria Allred. You should go just tap him on the back and say thank you. Because what you're doing is so hypocritical, so ignorant, so disgusting that I literally want nothing to do with you. Yeah, I blocked some so-called MJ fans on my list. I unfollowed some so-called MJ fans on my list. Because you have to be the most stupid people on the planet to even sit back and just immediately say this man was guilty. And yes, a lot of you were saying it. Even before the verdict, you said he was guilty. You called him a sick man. Okay? You sound like the same trolls online who, after years after Michael's death, years after being exonerated, who still call him a pedophile. Yeah, you guys sound just like them. You guys sit up here and you parrot mainstream media's lies. You take portions of a deposition that's been purposely taken out of context where Cosby said he gave one woman quaaludes, okay, in that deposition. Gave them, not drugged them, not stirred it up in their drinks and they didn't know. They both knew. Go back and read the deposition, the portion of the deposition. And I'm going to do a video about that as well. Because we have a lot of ignorant sheep out there who believe whatever mainstream media tells you. And another talking point. Well, all these women, and I'm sitting up here saying to myself, as a Michael Jackson fan, we saw all of these families who came out, ex-employees who said they saw Michael Jackson doing stuff and didn't say anything then. See, I'm calling y'all to the carpet. I'm calling y'all to the table because you don't know the truth. You know what mainstream media and folks out here on social media and their memes have been telling you what to think. Okay? All these women, see, as I said before, they learned from the Michael Jackson trial. There are other people, there are other families, and folks like, what's his name? It just astounds me. I'm going blank, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The choreographer, Wade Robson, came out, friends with Michael Jackson all these years. And when the money ran low, he turned around and said Michael Jackson molested him too. Me too. You see, Michael Jackson had more charges on him than Bill Cosby did. Michael Jackson had 10 felony accounts pinned on him. Bill Cosby had 3. In total, Michael Jackson had 14 counts. The other 4 were misdemeanors against him. Bill Cosby had 3, and he was still convicted, okay? If we were living in a time where Michael was alive and we had a movement that were anti-children being abused and all this kind of stuff, but it warped into something else. If we had, Michael alive where social media had memes of him being a pedophile, we had 3 years of social engineering and mainstream media calling him guilty, 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 guilty. Mark my words, they would have found Michael Jackson guilty too. Yes, they would have found Michael Jackson guilty too if this was him right now. If there was a movement against child abuse, if we had social media like it is today saying he's guilty, if we had all these families of these children coming out saying he's guilty, they would have found him guilty. Tom Mesereau wouldn't have been able to get him off. But see, Michael had some things working in his favor. He did have dedicated fans, which was a good thing. And as I've said before, there's a generational difference here too. Okay? Cosby is older than Mike. Okay? He's a comedian. And there seems to be more of a fondness for folks who are in music and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing I've noticed, because you saw what happened with Meek Mill. He had fans too who were out there protesting in his favor. So a lot of that goes back to generational and all that good stuff. But, we know that Michael was one of the biggest stars, on the planet. So at least he had that in his back pocket. In a lot of ways, that was his saving grace. But one thing I'm not going to sit up and listen to and watch so-called MJ fans who just because they're not a fan of Bill Cosby, and you don't even have to be a fan of Bill Cosby like that. See, I respect the work that he's done. I respect what he's done when it comes to helping our people and when it comes to education. See, I'm looking at it from a different aspect. I'm looking at it from a criminal justice fuck up. That's where I'm looking at it from. I'm not looking at it from because, I just love Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show. No. And see, that's what a lot of folks like to do. They like to say, you're just fascinated with the character. No, because I have a father. All right. I don't have to be fascinated with a character that he played on TV. See, I'm not that slow like some of you are. I'm not that ignorant like some of you are. The fact that a lot of you so-called MJ fans who are saying that Cosby was guilty before and after, it shows you that you didn't follow this case worth a damn because you don't care to follow it. You didn't care. That's why. That's why you're so just easy to say, he's guilty, sounding just like the same folks who said Michael Jackson was guilty. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Of all people, you folks should be the ones saying, you know what, let's wait and see what really happens. Let's actually look into this. Let's look into this corrupt county, Montgomery County, out here in PA, and see what they're really about. You know how you guys looked into the background and studied about Tom Snetton and his racism and his evil and getting black folks locked up? The fact that you guys didn't even give Cosby the benefit of the doubt shows me what you're really about. It's all about being fanatical about Michael Jackson and not the truth. Because, see, I'm about the truth here. I'm not about just being a fangirl. I want to know the truth when it comes to everybody. Not just Mike, but everybody. I'm fair across the board. I'm not going to be just, Well, I know Michael didn't do it, and that's that, and I don't care about nothing else, but Cosby did it. If you have that mentality, I don't even want you in my orbit, because that lets me know what you're on. That lets me know that you truly don't give a damn. And that lets me know, especially if you are on my friend list, that really lets me know your mentality. That lets me know you're fine being a part of a lynch mob mentality. And I don't give a damn if they found him guilty. They find folks guilty every single day, and they're not. We hear the stories all the time about folks' convictions being overturned. All right? Let's remember that. And that is why I am so just on this. I'm so on this. And I've been wanting to call some of y'all out. Not all, but some of y'all. And y'all know who y'all are. And I don't give a damn if you don't like this, if you don't like me afterwards. I don't care. Because I'm about truth and justice. And a lot of you are only about truth and justice when it fits your agenda. Okay? Or it fits what you care about. But see, I'm not like that. I don't play that. There have been many instances throughout history where folks have been framed and wrongly convicted. Famous or not famous. Yeah. And that's why I had to do this video. Because I am deeply disturbed by some of the things I see. Coming from so-called Michael Jackson fans. And this isn't a dig at Michael. God knows it's not. I am on Michael's side. I am on Bill's side because I know the truth. How they distort things. And Michael Jackson fans, you know this. You know how they would take Michael's words out of context, saying he liked to sleep in bed with boys. When Michael said, it's nothing wrong with sharing your bed with kids, but at the same time, he's saying, I give the kids the bed and I slept on the floor. You Michael Jackson fans know this. Just like Bill Cosby said in that deposition, that woman, knew what she was taking. He didn't drug her. That was consensual, you idiots. She took the Quaalude. Quaaludes were the thing of the day. Stop being so easily manipulated. Stop it. And Michael Jackson fans, you of all people, should have been the first to say, let's wait and see. Let's actually investigate. Not just wait and see. Let's actually investigate the facts. And a lot of you didn't. You just went along with the same folks who helped lynch Michael Jackson. You should be so freaking proud. No, I'm not asking you to come out here and vouch for Bill Cosby. I didn't ask for that. I simply asked for you to be critical thinkers. Critical. To think. To actually look up stuff for yourselves. And not be so easily misled. Because a lot of you are. A lot of you are on the Kool-Aid. Well, get off of it. A lot of you just believe whatever you hear. And that's not right. It's not fair. We've seen stories like the famous boxer from the early 1900s. Black man by the name of Jack Johnson, falsely accused. Or I should say this, charged with taking a white woman across state lines because she was a so-called prostitute. Okay? Sent to jail. They're trying to get that overturned today. This happened in the early 1900s. And you guys don't even see it. You guys just, oh, he's guilty. He did it. All these women can't be lying. Yeah, he did it. He a rapist. Yeah, I'll post this stupid meme. He a rapist. Yeah, that's how y'all look and sound. And I don't care who don't like it. I don't at this point. Because I'm tired of folks being so stupid and not thinking for themselves. I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm about truth and justice. And justice was not served, okay? We know the stories. We know about the Central Park Five. The 5 young black boys in the late 80s who were falsely accused of raping a woman were coerced into saying they did it, and they didn't. And years later, they were let go. Those type of stories. You claim to be such a Michael Jackson fan, but in my opinion, you're not. You're not. You're a fan of the music. You're not a fan of justice, of true justice, because what happened to Mr. Bill Cosby was not justice. It was a railroading. And if you're truly about what Mike talks about, and they don't care about us, you'd be the first people to look into these folks' backgrounds. Not, well, he did it. That means you were not paying attention. You were not paying attention to Mike's lyrics. Not at all. And I guarantee you something else. I bet you, if Michael Jackson was alive today and saw what was happening with Bill Cosby, he'd be on his side. I guarantee you. Because he knew what time it was when they came for him. He already knew. There's all types of conspiracies as to why they did what they did to Mike. You could talk about him buying the Beatles catalog. You could talk about him exposing white supremacy in the music industry. The same thing we could say about Bill Cosby. Him trying to acquire NBC many times. But see, y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all are caught up in the glitz and the glamour and just loving Mike and the music and all that. See, I'm not about that. I want the truth on all fronts. And they learned from Michael's trial what to do next. As I've said before, they programmed folks to say Cosby was guilty for over 3 years. They were already saying he was guilty. They were already putting it out there in your head. Then you had social media on top of that to compile the lynch mob. There are very few folks out there who went against the grain to say, this ain't right. This is what's truly going on. This is what actually happened. But no, I still see folks in my timeline posting stupid, ignorant crap about Cosby. You really need to think deep about what's going on here. You really need to think, because you're not. You're being sheep. And that is what is so disappointing about all of this. It truly is. But, you know, folks are going to believe what they want to believe. And that's their right. Believe it. But don't be a hypocrite, is my point. And many of you were and are. I know, Michael. I know. And here's the thing. I can say the same thing. I can say I knew Bill Cosby. Are you going to believe me? What I'm telling you? Obviously not. So yeah, this is the hypocrisy to the max when it comes to some of you so-called Michael Jackson fans. And that's all I got to say about it. All of you sounding like Diane Diamond. Yeah, all of you that say this. So, that's all I got to say about this. You guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Michael Jackson fans who feel this way, who feel that Cosby is guilty, feel it all you want. But I'm just calling out your hypocrisy. Yeah. And you know who you are. Anyway. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.